Welcome to Dualshock'd, the Brotherhood of Geeks PlayStation podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brett J. Rasmussen, and over here I got my other co-host,
Pancake Jones.
Pancake Jones. That's your Guru Blaz, my man.
Yeah, I know, but I can make up a new name.
Oh.
Feel like it.
Oh boy, God. Do you want pancakes? Is that the reason why?
I mean, who doesn't want
I mean, that you are not wrong.
I mean, let's be real.
I'll need to introduce you to the New Day. You know,
The New Day.
The New Day. They're a wrestling team. That they're all the power of positivity, and they throw pancakes into the audience. I don't know why.
Is it like a Christian thing?
No.
It sounds like a Christian band
It's
name.
not. I don't
And
think...
the New Day coming on featuring Mercy Me.
Oh no, it's
with
like
special guest Creed.
oh god, no. It's Xavier Woods, Big E, and Kofi Kingston of the WWE, and they're the raddest. I love those three. They're the great. Kofi Kingston's right now feuding with Daniel Bryan, and he better go and fight Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania and get that belt. Get the WWE belt, that hemp the hemp belt.
The hemp belt?
The belt is like Daniel Bryan, he's like a vegan.
Oh.
His whole gimmick is that like he wants to protect the earth.
Okay.
And he's very in your face about it. The kind of like he's like PETA, but for the earth.
So he's like a more aggressive Captain Planet?
Yes.
Okay.
Like he's a whole Captain Planet.
All right.
And he threw away the leather, like the original like leather belt, and he made one out of wood, and people have called it the hemp belt because you can burn it and like smoke it.
Actually, you should never smoke hemp. That will do nothing for you but burn your lungs and your mouth. It's just a byproduct.
It's
folks.
just a byproduct.
You can make rope and cellophane and
mind you,
dynamite out of
that
it,
belt.
but...
I mean, again, I'm joking about it, but that belt that Daniel Bryan made is gorgeous. I love it. I love that belt. I hope that when Kofi wins that belt, he keeps that belt. He doesn't get rid of it because that belt is gorgeous. But who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. I know we're talking about wrestling, but what's been going on? What's been going on with you, Blaze? I know we've been talking about wrestling for a little bit, but that's okay.
Not too much.
I'm wearing a wrestling shirt anyway.
I've been playing Sekiro,
Woo!
Shadows Die Twice, and DMC, but I've been on Sekiro since it came out, and it's punishingly difficult, but so much fun. I really like, because I was a big fan of Bloodborne, well, I still am, and the Dark Souls games in general. Like I just like that style of game, and they were pretty much the ones to kind of pioneer that game, which is why they'll call stuff like a Souls game, and like that kind of combat has become much more prevalent in single player stories where combat is a focus. But I really like their and it's about it's like Japanese history-ish, and that's really cool for me too. But I really like the posture system that they implement in there, and they changed a lot of things. Like, well, you can pause it now, so that's cool. Like, so it actually pauses the game.
Yep.
And as opposed to, different weapons as far as your main thing, you get. It's like I think they struck a really good balance between, because like it's almost like it's more difficult, but also more fair, because you get like your shinobi as the shinobi in the game, like. You can hop around and get vantage points, and like the stealth aspect and the death blow system that they have is really it's definitely once you get the hang of it, the ability to deflect, and you can gain skills as you progress that give you other abilities. Like I was playing earlier today, and I almost killed this one sub-boss ogre dude, and then he just wrecked my world right before I was able to get it. Because basically the way it goes is that you'll whittle someone down, or when their posture it's a separate from their health. It's not because there's no stamina bar anymore. You can run around and jump around as much as you want. You have a lot of you're very agile, lots of quick movements. You can a lot of cool stuff you can do, especially obviously the grappling hook. You can traverse around.
You must love that thing.
Oh, it's sick because you can. I mean, and there's a move that you can get where you can actually use it in combat, which I haven't gotten yet. But it's really cool for traversal. It's just fun to spin around, and it's also a good way to get out of a hairy situation to recoup and check out what's going on. And obviously, the ability to resurrect yourself once you die, like, so you kind of get 2 lives, and it's kind of cool. You only come back with like half your health, but still, it's like once it's fun because like you'll like if you get killed in a group of enemies, unless it's a boss, because they won't do this, but they'll walk away, and you can resurrect behind them without them realizing it, and then just come up for a stealth kill.
Nice.
But like the death blow system is essentially like once you get their posture into a state that's bad enough, or you get like an instance of a boss. It's kind of like Kingdom Hearts. You know how they had that system where they had these little like nodes, and then as their health went down, they lost those. So it kind of works like that. But you do a death blow either when their posture is bad enough, or like by either like attacking them relentlessly, or doing certain moves. There's other items. I've only gotten a little bit into it. Plus all your shinobi tools. Like I got a flamethrower and then an axe and like you can shoot shuriken out of it.
Oh, nice.
In addition to the whatever, but yeah, like, and then you have to like certain bosses take a number of death blows, whereas like smaller enemies like one good death blow and they're dead. And it's super well put together and fun, and it's gorgeous looking, and the music's good. I got the soundtrack from a friend.
Nice.
But yeah, it's fucking solid. And I opened some mail today with my Katana letter open.
That's great.
And it worked.
That's great.
So that's good.
That's awesome. Yeah. I've went ahead and picked up Sekiro and we got the collector's edition, which we'll be doing. We have an unboxing video up on the channel if you want to go ahead and see that. And Sekiro, yeah, I mean, like it's really fun. I've only played a little bit of it. I haven't really delved deep into it like you have.
It is punishingly difficult.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is like the more you die, like, hold up.
Whoop. Whoop. There we go. Yeah. Had to sneeze that out.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
But anyway,
dying there.
Like if you die too often, like there's this. You start out with 30%.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if there's a way to increase it later, but if you die too often, you get these totems of like this dragon rot thing that will like, so like this unseen aid like thing you have is like there's like a slight chance that because when you die you lose half your money and half of the experience towards your next skill point that you currently had. And but the unseen aid is like a slight chance. It's only happened to me once so far, where you have the chance to keep everything even upon like your second death.
Oh
wow. And that percentage goes down as you die more, like more and more. But yeah, no. Outside of like and it's like but the thing is, it's like even though that seems like it's like unfair and punishing, it's like. It doesn't feel like it is because yes, it's still difficult even in the combat sense to some degree, but it's also like because unlike Bloodborne where like to jump was like a 2-button combination of like running and then press, it's like you can just hop around like it kind of balances itself out because your moveset is so fluid and easy and like not OP at all, but like it's a lot more I don't know like fantastical. It's like because you're a shinobi and like, so you can like hop off walls and you're grappling all over the place and the movement and then because of the posture system it also kind of like as long as you like look for open, it's like it's all about that aspect of it. I also got this other really cool move that I like if someone does a thrust move, if you time circle press, you'll step on their weapon.
Oh god, yeah!
And then you just like stab them in the back of the head with a death blow. It's sick.
That's rad. Well, for me,
plus I love the fact that it's stealth based. Like I love playing stealth games. I'll be patient as a saint in a stealth game just for that like perfect kill. So I'm just like sneaking around and then like because then you can get an instant death blow if you sneak up on someone.
Yep. But for me, I've played a little bit of Sekiro, but what I have played a lot of is Devil May Cry 5. That's what I've been playing.
I just got to the point where I'm now playing as... I played the first mission as Dante.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, Dante's my favorite to play as so far.
Oh man, no, for me it's B. I love.
No, they're all fun. Don't get me wrong. Like I just like Dante.
We're talking about favorites though. We're talking about what style of game.
Yeah, well, it's because Dante has like the 4 different style variants, and the only thing that I wish he had is like a grappling mechanic to pull enemies like
Oh,
Nero
yeah,
does,
yeah.
because that's like super useful to try to rack up combos, because then they just can't, like, if you knock them away, you just pull them right back. But yeah, dude, I've gotten multiple triple S ranks already.
Nice. Yeah, I'm
And
not.
then I've gotten at least 2 missions on S rank.
Oh, nice. Okay. Because I've beaten that game. I've played it, beaten it. Not.
I haven't beaten it quite yet, so don't spoil anything.
I won't spoil it, but I definitely really fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
I love.
And it looks great.
I love playing as you play as Nero V.
V is the easiest to get high style ranks.
Yeah, those are the ones that I get that. But I like how V is so different to it, because V is the one character that isn't like normal Devil May Cry games. Because in Devil May Cry,
first time he's ever been in one.
No, but like his play style though.
Like, yeah, with the familiars.
Yes, because his whole thing with V's whole thing
it's
is
like ranged combat.
Yeah,
but
you
also not.
Well, his whole thing is that you summon familiars, Griffin and Shadow, which is a...
And then there's also the Nightmare, which is like a special.
Which is a big, huge golem.
It's
That's
like
his
a
devil trigger.
Yeah,
that's his devil trigger.
It's an invincible, like, like big hulking thing. That
Yeah,
you can use for a limited time.
So you have Griffin, who's this massive bird, and Griffin, and then
quick, just blow my nose.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'll go ahead and explain that, because I know how that is. Oh man, it's the worst.
Oh, do it.
Yeah, he found it. But anyway, you have Griffin, who is a big, huge bird, and then you have Shadow, which is like this panther. So Griffin is kind of your ranged combat. He can go ahead and like shoot bolts of lightning. Ooh boy, ooh man,
yeah,
got to get that out of there. Ooh, I don't know. I don't blame you. I don't understand. I get that. I know how that is.
Okay.
There we go. So you have Griffin, who is kind of like your ranged attacker, so he can go ahead and like swoop in, shoot lightning. And then you have Shadow, who pretty much is your melee. And then you have your double trigger to summon out Nightmare. And the way it works is that these 3 familiars can't kill the enemies. You, as V, have to
deliver
do the final blow. So what happens is that you go ahead and kill them,
but you can like teleport to them once.
Exactly, that's what I did.
So like that's usually where I end up like pushing into the higher ranks, is like once there's a bunch of them and you're just like going from one to the next.
Exactly, just like you're just killing them.
You just go up and just stab them with your cane.
It's man.
I like his character design too.
Oh yeah,
he's just got a sick look.
Oh yeah, and then for me, I would probably say the hardest for me is Nero. Nero's the hardest.
I was
for
kicking
me.
ass with Nero.
Oh dude, he is the hardest for me. Maybe it's because like I don't
suck?
Probably. You're not the only one to tell me that. You a-hole. I think like again, I haven't really played a lot of Devil May Cry games.
Yeah, because he was in 4 was when he was.
Yeah, he was in 4, and I've played.
I have the trilogy on my 360, so I played through a good chunk of 1 and some of 2, but I have yet to beat them. I'm gonna go back and do that once I beat 5.
Yeah,
because the first, dude, they're fun. Even though they're older, they're still fun.
Oh yeah.
And it's an offshoot. It was actually originally it was a mod of Resident Evil. Is how Devil May Cry.
Yeah, like I tried playing 1, and what was messing me up is
plus the music in those games kicks.
Oh, ass. I know that. I completely agree with. But like the thing is, I tried to get and start off and play 1, and what happened is that because I've played God of War. But when it first came out, and that kind of stuff, and God of War has been like that.
I got it on PS too.
But with Devil May Cry, especially with 1, it does have the camera shots of like Resident Evil, where it doesn't. It's a
lot more cinematic than Resident Evil is. I think it has more of a focus on because it's more about the combat. It's more about the flat, because Dante's just a really flashy, character, and he's just like a badass.
For me, when I was playing Devil May Cry 1, again, this is probably me, because I played more God of War than anything, is because I'm so not used to just like the camera angles being so static, where like even though like in God of War it's kind of static, but like it fits to how Kratos is moving through the levels.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So you can see all the enemies around him and how you kill them and counter them, that kind of stuff, where it feels like with me, and this is probably just me, but with Devil May Cry 1, of how the camera angle, it's like you're in Resident Evil and going back and forth. And it just, for me personally, it just was really, it was odd, and I think it's a learning curve for me, and I probably have to spend more time.
And it's very fast paced. Like, you know, after a certain point, like, you know, some of the I do remember, like, because I had never played the first one until I had gotten that collection. I got it in 360 because it was far cheaper, and it was before they actually released it on the newer consoles.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna buy it twice.
Yeah.
But the first spider boss, not the first time, like the first time I encountered him, I died a bunch because he's in this hallway, and you know that one, and like, and it was because there was like this, I just didn't realize a certain thing, and it was like I you know, like, because like I ended up taking too much damage, but like when I actually like fought him out in the open, I literally like murdered him without taking a single hit.
Nice.
And it was like, and I didn't even expect to do that well against him. Like, and I was just like pulling off all the right combos. And that's why I like games like that, because it's like you'll get into a groove and you just slaughter everything and you just feel like a badass.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, playing Devil May Cry 5 as kind of because I played DMC and I enjoyed that game, and I do understand why people do not like that game. Pretty much it's kind of like everything when it was in development and everything around it, but the game itself made by Ninja Theory,
and I love, because like like Team Ninja and like they just know how to make a combat system.
But I do understand why people are upset at that game. I do understand that, but going from playing like DMC and then getting into this one, which is back to basics, Devil May Cry OG, like, this is Devil May Cry, and playing this game with all of the different variations of you playing as three different characters. It's gorgeous. It uses the Resident Evil 2 remake engine, which is gorgeous. The story is not bad. I enjoyed the story. It was fun. Like,
I mean, Devil May Cry's stories like never take themselves too seriously. That's why I like them.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
There's like an infusion of humor, and that's like the whole point.
Oh, yeah.
Like part of those characters.
One of the things is that there are phone booths. There's a character named Nico, where she
like
drives the van, and
I don't know what that van's made of. Man.
I don't know, because like you go ahead and you find these phone booths in the levels, and you go ahead and go up to it and call it, and then Nico with the van comes out of literally nowhere. Like, she comes out from like one of them, and she comes out literally from under the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and then it allows you to customize and like upgrade if you have the ability.
And that was one of the things I really liked about Devil May Cry 5, is that you could like customize it and put, you had Nero, who you had to know what all of the Devil Breakers, which are his mechanical arms, they all do and how you want to use them. Dante and all of his different weapons, and then V on how you use your familiars to kill them. Like, it's so good. I really love Devil May Cry 5. I don't know if I want to go ahead and give it I know we're doing like a mini review right here.
Yeah. But I honestly think that Sekiro might be one of the Game of the Year contenders.
Maybe,
because it's pretty much gotten like nothing but amazing reviews from critics and fans alike.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, I guess I think we'll go ahead and come back to Devil May Cry 5. Maybe we'll do a little short video, a little short circuited about that. So we'll see about that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on to the first part of our podcast. We call it News of the Nation. Bam. There we go. Yeah. Have a new cinematic, new graphic. Bam.
Oh, yeah.
It's all there. Looks nice. Looks very nice. Anyway, we don't have a lot today because there's one other big news topic, and that's going to be our PlayStation conversation. But what I wanted to bring up to you is the we've been talking about this. We even talked about this in an E3 without a PlayStation. But we have now, it has now been announced by Sony themselves, by PlayStation, is that they'll be doing this thing called the State of Play. It is a live stream series that they're going to be doing. So instead of now being
it's essentially like a PlayStation Direct.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's a PlayStation Direct. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Let me go ahead and pull this up. So on March 25th, they'll be doing the very first State of Play, and it's going to be, as I said, a new streaming series that they'll be doing. It'll air at 2 p.m. Pacific time on Monday, March 25th, while at 5 Eastern Standard Time. So for us, we live in Central, we live in Wisconsin, so for us it'll be 4 o'clock for Central Time, because New York is Eastern, blah, 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 blah. But they have said that they'll be revealing new announcements, footage, and trailers for the PS4 and PSVR games. And then you can watch this on their Twitch, on their YouTube, on their Twitter, and Facebook channels, which we will also be doing our own watch-along on the Brotherhood of Geeks at the same time. We'll be doing a pre-show a half hour before, so that'll be 3:30 Central Time, 4:30 Eastern Time, and then I believe that's 1:30 Pacific Time. So go ahead, stick to watch us on here. We'll be doing a pre-show. We'll be talking along with it, and then we'll kind of do a post-show about kind of what we thought about this and that kind of thing. But the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because now we kind of know what PlayStation it has in mind and kind of what their plan is going forward. One of the things that we talked about, I believe it was in E3 without a PlayStation, one of the things we talked about is that PlayStation, Sean Layden announced that they were going to do this Destination PlayStation event. And we never saw it, we never heard anything. No one has seen anything, not even like IGN, GameSpot, any of them have even talked about it. But now this is the very first time that we're going to be getting new announcements. What do you think about this? What is your opinion on?
I think it's probably. I honestly think it's probably a good move business wise, and I mean, because as cool as E3 is, and I've never been there because it's just too expensive. But it is kind of antiquated, I think, and I think that they're taking a page from Nintendo's book, honestly, because Nintendo Direct it is and continues to be such a successful way to communicate with the fan base. And, especially when, Reggie and Iwata were a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they just made it, like, a super fun, thing with the skits. And, it becomes a form of entertainment unto itself, but also is a way to convey information that, applies to the gaming culture and, like, what like it said, like, trailers and such. I think that, they're seeing that. It's probably a combination of them seeing E3 like they already, how they explained it, basically that it's just the platform has changed and, people can get, there's 24-hour news on all things gaming.
Yep, that's what even Sean Layden stated that, yeah.
So, like, because of that, it's not really necessary to put all the time, money, and resources into something like E3 when you could save a bunch of that and still get more out of it by doing something like a Direct or their State of Play, because it's completely self-contained, which means that there's less overhead, I believe. I would assume. And it's only focused on them as opposed to them trying to outdo anybody else.
Yeah.
And so I think that, honestly, it makes a lot of sense. And it was just probably a matter of time. And again, just like with Nintendo Direct, it's online, and you can just, people don't need to leave. They don't need to spend hundreds of dollars. I mean, not to say that I would love to go to E3 just for the experience, and all there's a lot of stuff there, but as far as, like, the big announcements from, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, things of that nature, it's like, that would be cool to see, but it's like, I could also just sit at my house and, watch it, and then they still can communicate that way as well.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised, I mean, and I don't know if it's been done already, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, in the future at some point, like, there was, like, an AMA with Sony or something like that.
Yeah.
Or at least something along the lines of, like, getting feedback from their State of Play.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, one of the cool things about, especially, actually, the most recent Nintendo Direct that Nintendo did was, like, it was all about the new Pokemon game. It was about Sword and Shield. Mm-hmm. And that took over pretty much for the day, and even, I believe, even for that week, and for a while. Like, he's kind of died down, but people are continuing to talk about it. But, like, when they announced Sword and Shield, the new Pokemon game for the Switch, like, that just took over everything. I think that's kind of where PlayStation's going. Actually, one of my contacts who works at has worked at E3 and multiple E3s. He has kind of said that, like, what has happened is that as years have gone by, the people who run E3, who run the building, run the convention, that kind of thing, they are pretty much requiring the other, like, developers, publishers, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo to spend more money than they normally would. So now with, PlayStation pulling out and, Nintendo still doing their Nintendo Directs, I think that's definitely better. It saves more money for them on a business sense. But I do agree with Sean Layden stating that the reason why he did that, Sony was doing this Destination PlayStation thing, was to show their retailers. Now, I thought that was going to be an event that we could all see, but apparently not. But now we have the State of Play, which we will be able to watch, and we will know what's going on.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, you're not. It becomes like less exclusive and more inclusive,
which I really do like about that. So with the, you okay there, buddy?
Oh, I'm good. It's just
looks like you're dying.
No. I'm just gonna hold up. Wait, where's the?
It's over there. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Just all of 1/8 of an inch.
Oh,
wait.
Yay!
Now we're talking.
There you go. I don't think he's like, I gotta fetch myself in order.
Well, no, it's because it lines up with the table, so I can't turn because it just touches it, knocks it off the table, and pushing harder is only gonna make that worse.
Phrasing, boom.
Now. We're good now.
You're good. All right.
Go ahead.
Great. But I really. I'm looking forward to the State of Play. I'm excited for it because of what we're going to see, but honestly, I'm probably more excited just of the concept of this more than anything.
Oh, yeah. I'm just curious to see where they're going to take it. I really hope that they, like, embellish and, like, make it into, like, like Nintendo did with their, like, their puppet sketches. Just,
or,
just as an example, just stuff along those lines.
Or, like, when Reggie fought, oh, God. Remember the one where it was, like, they were, it was before they showed up arms?
I'm trying to remember who it was, too.
It was the president of Nintendo.
Oh, Iwata.
Yeah, Iwata. Yeah, that was it, yeah. Like, it was awesome. It was...
You're awesome.
Yeah, I know. So are you.
Thanks.
Yeah, like, I would love to see if they do any skits, but, like, if they focus on games and really kind of, like, we'll probably see more of the games that we know about. Ghost of Tsushima. We'll probably get a release.
Oh my god, I cannot wait for that.
If that game comes out this year,
I'm gonna shit myself.
I don't even know what to do.
If it gets announced that it's coming out this year, you will know what it looks like to see someone take a shit out of their dick.
Like, I don't...
Other than Cyberpunk, that's literally, like, my other, like... I mean, Sekiro is definitely gonna tide me over, but, like, Ghost of Tsushima is a whole nother beast.
If Ghost of Tsushima comes out, like...
I don't think it will, but it's possible.
I think that's 2020, where
I'm fine with that, too. That's a game where it's like, you take your time, I understand, the hype is not going to die.
No... Yeah,
for that.
Like, no matter what though, even if it's I believe Last of Us Part 2 is going to be coming out this year.
That would,
no matter what,
that's another one.
No matter what, the Game of the Year conversation that we're going to be having is going to be nuts.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be hard.
Oh god, dude, last year was really last year.
Dude, last year ain't got shit on this year. Like, there's so many good things coming out this year. God of War stole the show. There's
I can agree with you.
So
there.
it was not a hard decision this year, man.
Well,
you got DMC.
Well, mind you,
got Sekiro, Mortal Kombat 11, possibly Last of Us 2. Down the line, we had Cyberpunk, Ghost of Tsushima, friggin' I don't know, maybe even Biomutant. That might come out of left field and be really good because it's supposed to be like a Devil May Cry-esque type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, like, there's so many, like, I'll be really interested to seeing, like, we could probably get a release date on some of the games that we saw at E3 last year. Like,
right.
That'll be really good. Like,
As a PlayStation owner, it's honestly the only thing I'm really interested in seeing anyway. So honestly, I kind of also think that it's cool because I don't have to watch through all of E3. Mm-hmm. Not to say that I wouldn't, but it's just like back when G4 was on.
Yeah.
Or.
Yeah.
Yeah, back when it was on.
G4, mm-hmm.
And it was back when because it was on for a long time, but back when it was on and also still dealt with video games.
Do you remember before it was G4, it was Tech TV? Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, that was that. Like, I'm probably because I'm like, I remember it being Tech TV.
How old are you?
Like, in my late 20s.
Oh. All right. Well, then, yeah. Well, you maybe get, like a few years. But yeah, it's only because it's possible that I did and didn't realize it because I would have been younger.
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't get into gaming, like, to the point where I would be watching a TV show about it until probably around, like, 12 or so.
Oh, okay.
But I miss X-Play and Attack of the Show and Brainiac.
Oh, my, like, Arena. Like, I loved Arena.
Cheat.
Oh, Cheat. Yeah! That was
back when cheats were like, you could buy booklets of cheat codes at Blockbuster.
Oh, my God. Or, like, just any bookstore.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Oh.
And it had, was it Layla Kaylee, I think, was on cheat?
Yeah,
Oh, the British one?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. She was so fine.
Man, I love...
That's where Olivia Munn got her start. Like, was on Attack of the Show. But yeah, dude, X-Play, I love Adam Sessler more.
Like, and honestly, like, X-Play, like, that's why the rating system that I use is the 5 scale, is because of X-Play. Right. I love, and like, the reasoning behind...
like, I have it still, like, I have a copy of, because I love SSX. I love SSX, and, like, when they came out with the new one, like, because it's, like, I'm not big into sports games, snowboarding even less so, but SSX is like amazing and fun. It has an amazing soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
But like on the front cover, it was like one of our most anticipated games of the year because I had the 360 version and it was X-Play.
Yeah.
So it's an immortalized memory.
It's great. I love X-Play. I mean,
but yeah, because it became nothing but Ninja Warrior and Campus PD for like years.
Yeah.
Like literally.
And then Cops. It was like
that was Campus PD.
Oh, God.
And then Cops, and then Ninja Warrior, and it's like... But it literally had nothing to do with gaming.
No, it
nothing.
did not.
There wasn't a single show left on it.
But that's because...
And then eventually they just shut the channel down.
Well, that's because, like, by that time, like, just, like, internet for nerd culture... And,
right.
Like, that's kind of just become the thing.
But still, like, I would still watch it if it was on.
But it's much harder. It is much harder to do a half-hour show where you have to do reviews and then bits and stuff. And I know we're going off on a side tangent.
And I also missed Gadgetron. That was on. I think that was on X-Play. Was it on X-Play or Attack of the Show that did Gadgetron?
I think that was Attack of the Show.
Where they just talk about new tech and stuff?
Yeah, that was Attack of the Show. So
that one where Olivia Munn was dressed in a French maid outfit and eating hot dogs on strings. One of my favorite episodes.
Oh, man.
That was a good one.
Yep. But
or when they had Tom Green on X-Play and he's just like breaking the light bulbs on like their wall. Geez. It was so funny.
Oh Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh man. I don't.
All right, I digress. Sorry.
But, yeah. No, it's okay.
I was reliving a moment there.
I don't blame you.
It's been a while since I thought about it.
I don't blame you. Like, and again, it's a fond memory to us. Like, and especially to me. Like, I love. Like, that's kind of where all of, like, my love of gaming outside of, like, playing actual video games came from. Like, it's G4 and Tech TV and that kind of stuff. But, yeah, like, kind of coming back, rounding back to this, like, with PlayStation doing their own, like, PlayStation Direct, like, this, I'm really looking forward to this. And
I think
really
it's going to be fun.
And again, please watch our watch along. We'll be doing a pre-show at 3:30 Central Time, 4:30 Eastern Time, and 1:30 Pacific Time. And then we'll be watching it. We'll be talking over the show and watching it along. And then we'll be doing a post-show after it's all done. So yeah. But then let's go ahead and move into our main topic, our PlayStation conversation. Because really, this is kind of taking over pretty much the news cycle. So Google has announced the
Stadia.
the Google Stadia. This was at GDC, the Game Developers Convention, this past weekend, or the past before, the last GDC. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to bring up the Google Stadia. So what they have brought up, and I actually want to go ahead and bring this back up. There we go. I want to go ahead and pull up kind of the specs, release date, everything they kind of talked about at GDC. So they revealed their new, it's a streaming service. And what they pretty much explained is that it's not a console. They made sure that it is not a console like PlayStation, like the PS4 or the Xbox One or the Switch. It's a streaming service. And pretty much they said that you can pretty much pull it up to, if you're on a browser, on a Google browser, on your computer, on your TV, on your phone, on a tablet, you can pull up the Stadia and you can pretty much play games through streaming. They said that it is more powerful than the Xbox One and the PS4 combined. And I think what they showed is that it was...
It's because Google's got the money to make that happen.
Well, so this is what I pulled up. So let me pull that up. So their release date is that they don't have a release date of the Stadia yet. But they have promised it will launch in the US, UK, Canada, and most of Europe later in 2019, giving more details during the summer. Also, one odd thing that they have stated in an interview with IGN, they have stated that it won't be a full release, and not everyone will be able to play on the Stadia day one.
Makes sense.
Which that's going to be the first kind of like, even though it's not a console, I do regard it because they are trying to compete against Xbox and PlayStation for that. So, like again, they even stated the next thing is specs. So Stadia will scale up as, and I'm getting this from PCGames.com. Stadia will scale up and as and when more performance is required. But all that we do know is that each instance will utilize a custom x86 Intel CPU running at 2.7 gigahertz. This will be paired with a custom AMD graphics silicon capable of 10.7 teraflops of raw computing, fitted with 56 compute units and HBM2 memory. Hence, why they have stated it is more powerful than the PS4 and Xbox One combined, because they showed a graphic. I think it was like 4.2 or 4 point something on PlayStation, and this is on the Pro.
It's like 6 points.
Yeah, 6 point something on the X, and
yeah.
this is the X.
Just
and they're talking
X.
about the top end versions of the PS4 and Xbox One, and they're saying that it's more powerful than both of them put together. And oh boy,
I'm sure the price point will reflect that.
They haven't really stated on they haven't stated a service or a subscription or what kind of model that the pricing will be. It is now of course they didn't say anything like that. The controller looks like the Dualshock 4, so the controller probably is going to be about $50 to $80. That's the guess. There are no prices on any of this, but there is a Google Stadia controller, and it looks like a Dualshock 4, and it's probably going to be about the same price as a Dualshock 4. What it would be. The performance that they'll be using, let's see. Google has made progress since Project Stream was first tested, and now Stadia is capable of 4K at 60 frames per second. Down the line, Google has promised to do it in 8K and greater than 120 frames per second.
And that's cool and badass, but it's like after a certain point, your brain won't even realize it. Mm-hmm. You're not even going to recognize an increase in quality because that... You're not. There's just like it gets them. It's like eventually things are like gonna like when something looks real enough, you can't make it look any more realistic after a certain point. And
what they stated also is that one of the things they said that they would do is, like, let's say for instance we wanted to watch a trailer of Ghost of Tsushima or Days Gone.
You'll have the ability to try it.
You can pull up the game. So like they showed off Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Doom Eternal. That the FPS. It's not
Doom
Diablo.
Eternal?
What?
Are you getting Doom Eternal?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that
Good.
game looks really fun. It's a Twitch shooter, and that's a learning curve for me. But oh man, I love Doom. I love Doom 1 from the 2016. Oh, so good. But regardless, like if you watch a trailer for a game and it's on the Stadia, you can press like a link or press something on the trailer, and you can go ahead and like pull it up and play it. I need a swig. So, and that's all we kind of know. That's kind of like the pretty much the premise, the basics, pretty much breaking it down over. There's really not a lot of things.
I mean, yeah, it's essentially just, they're just trying to break new ground, I feel, obviously, and enter into the gaming market to make even more money.
Yeah, because like, because they said, like, I pulled up, like, kind of like a chart. It says, it's 10.7 teraflops, 56 compute units, HBM2 memory. That's the AMD GPU. The Intel CPU is a custom x86 processor, 2.7 gigahertz, hyper threaded.
16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, up to 484 gigs per second transfer.
Jesus,
like that's
insane.
Okay.
I can't, dude. This thing has got to be at least like $800 when it comes out.
Here's
like minimum, if not like a grand.
Well, this
or
isn't
more.
a console though,
right? I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like this is like I feel. I mean, I'm not saying that like it shouldn't be done. Like I think it's cool. It's a cool idea, but I also think it's basically like rich people gaming.
Here's the problem that I see here.
I don't see it having like a really. It can't necessarily. I don't think it's going to be able to have a wide appeal based off the fact that it's going to have to be some.
Well, look, one, it's trying to do streaming, and we all know what has happened with streaming games. We've complained about it here on Dualshock'd about even the PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
About how one of the things that we applauded them for is that they took a play out of Xbox's playbook and made it possible for you to download games from the PlayStation Now. So,
right.
And these are like specific PS4 games. You can download them to your system,
right.
And then
you'll have them. You just need to have online to play them,
and you need to have Now. That's it.
And that's fine. Like, and that's worth the price of it to be able to just have that many games in your library.
Well, I mean, again, I think the pricing of PlayStation Now is still too high. Like, it's like
what, at the $60 per year?
No, that's plus. I'm talking about now.
Oh, right.
I'm talking about PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now, you can also, instead of streaming, you download the game to your system. But then in order to play it, you still need Now in order to use it. So it's like how Game Pass, you download, and that's the thing. Xbox saw what PlayStation Now was doing. It wasn't succeeding. So when they made Game Pass, they, made it $10 because that's pretty much the normal, what everyone agrees with, what a subscription service should, bare minimum should be is $10 per month. Which, look
Netflix.
Look at Netflix, look at Hulu, look at WWE Network, look at any NFL network, look at literally any other network. Mm-hmm. It's $10 bare minimum per month to get that service. Then, instead of it being a streaming, you download it to your system. And we all know what happened. Where is OnLive? They're gone. And Sony bought Gaikai, so that was kind of like what they were going to go into streaming with PlayStation Now.
Right. And
we all know that there's problems with PlayStation Now. In order for you to do 4K 60 frames per second, you need amazing, and I'm not even saying good. You need the best internet connection ever. In America, we don't even have that.
Yeah, you'd have to live in Europe.
Yeah.
To even have a chance, because internet's a utility there too. Mm-hmm. So you get good. I think I remember reading the fastest internet connection in the world is this old woman in the Netherlands, and she could download a full 1080p movie in 2 seconds.
Oh wow!
From clicking a button.
Oh, that would be the best. I would love that. But that's one of the problems. In America, we don't have that.
Right.
We,
it's a service,
and even if you have, even if you have the highest internet, even with Google Fiber, which is their top line stuff, even then, it's going to be difficult trying to stream it from they want to stream it. We all know if you think it's going to be easier,
it's no doubt the device itself will be able to handle that amount, I'm sure Google had. I mean, I know they know what they're doing, but it's like if you don't have a powerful enough internet connection, which they really can't do for you, like you could have like this, godlike device that can just stream an insane, but it's like if you don't, but it's not going to work. Because you just that type of internet connection doesn't exist.
But I want like it is not a device. This is like if your computer or if you have the Google Chrome as like as your streaming device on your TV, like you're using it through the Google Chrome. Right. There's going to be an app on the Google Chrome that's going to be the Stadia.
Right.
That's how you do it.
Yeah,
like that's what I mean.
Even so, though,
but yeah, like I don't think like those things can handle that. And like if that's the case, you would need to make a whole nother new batch. And like these are like Stadia enhanced.
But yeah, like I said, even if it could handle it, because I'm sure Google will find a way.
Yeah,
like they have all the money they ever need to finance it, and they know I mean, like look at all the stuff that we use: Google Maps. They own their own
Google
satellite. Like they know how to compute. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But like it's like if you don't have like a godlike internet connection,
doesn't matter.
It won't matter how powerful or well put together something is, because it's just that kind of internet connection. And if it does exist, I mean, like again, like I said, it's kind of cutting down the market, because in addition to what will no doubt be a high price point for the Stadia itself,
for the subscription service or whatever
right.
it would be.
It's like you're gonna have to have like a Fortune 500 business level internet connection or your own private server or something to be able to run that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like,
but then again, you could probably just run it at a lower amount. But then that's maybe I don't know. Like they're gonna have to like I feel like. It would almost be like I feel like they should base off the subscription service price based off of like what your internet speed is.
And they haven't even confirmed. They haven't even kind of talked about like how like that worked. Like they pretty much announced it, and they announced specs. Awesome, but how does this work? How is this going to go about?
Well, that's probably because maybe they're still trying to figure that out, and they just want to whet everyone's appetite.
Like there's a quote. It says, "We're not declaring victory. We're just starting." This is from Phil Harrison, the Google VP and GM. It's just like, it's like, I can see what they're trying to do. And yes, I do believe that, like, this is going, like, streaming games, like, whatever that would be, it is going to be the future of games. But I think this is going to be like I feel that this is like the Xbox One or the PS3, where them announcing this, like, I don't know. It is too early for me to see, but I feel that this is going to be more of a flop. Mind you, I don't think this is something that they're going to just go ahead and, all right, here you go, give us money, and then drop it if it doesn't
Google
work.
knows what to do. They know how to run their
business. This sounds like they're playing for the long game.
Right.
They're playing the long game with Stadia.
It probably won't see a release for years, probably.
No, I think it will be released. I think it'll be. They said it's going to come out late this year, but I don't think it's going to be.
I don't know, man. Well, I mean, if it does come out, I don't think it's going to be in its final form.
Yeah.
I think that'll probably come out so that they can have it. They can basically get paid for people. People are going to pay them to beta test it, and then. Once they figure out all the problems, they're probably just gonna, try to basically use that to see how it's reacted to, and then in addition to fixing any possible thing that may or may not be wrong with it or may need attention, then they're gonna release like a different version of it or an update. And just like any major game that for like the No Man's Sky effect, basically, it's like it comes out not exactly what, or even not remotely close to what it was supposed to be, but then they're going to use all that feedback, especially given Google's intravenousness, because they have so much information.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to change it and make it exactly what like the collective internet hive mind wants it to be based off of what exists currently.
Yeah, I mean, look at where we are today. We're in 2019 when Microsoft announced the Xbox One back in 2013, 2014? I believe 2014.
Probably.
Yeah. when they announced the like where they were like, oh, DRM, and like you can like all these DRM like policies, and like you could share your games, and like it's going to be more focused on like digital and you can't. Really
I initially remember them like the rumor that the Xbox it was either the One or the One S that was gonna have like rumored to have no disc drive.
Well, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. Actually,
and like, that was it's essentially what this is kind of.
Well, actually, Xbox has already said like
their next one. Yeah.
No. Like they're making an Xbox One S or Xbox One console that is discless.
Just like as a separate.
Like it's another console. It's another Xbox One, but it does not use discs. But like, but I do. But
the Xbox No D.
There you go. But like the big thing is that like it was going to be very hard for you to trade in physical games because you would like put the disc into the system, but you're not reading it off of the disc. You're pretty much installing it into the system. The disc is only there to pretty much verify that you own it, that you own that game. So there was a lot of trying to like control from Microsoft where people were not a fan of. So when like at E3 they had to like go back on a lot of things. I'm sorry, after E3 they had to go back on a lot of things, on a lot of the promises they were saying because PlayStation knocked it out of the park, and that's where you had the whole famous Shuhei and Jack Trenton, or not Jack Trenton, it was one of the higher ups over at PlayStation, but it's the famous like, this is how you trade a game. Yeah. And then like that was it, and that's how it was done. Like that was one of those and where they announced like all the specs, and they said you can trade in your games and you can do this. No, like you like no DRM, all this kind of stuff, and people were like yeah, because at the time internet wasn't a necessity. Now we're in 2019. Internet is everywhere. You actually like there's hardly anything that we don't use that's not connected to the internet. Back in 2014.
Or at least as far as gaming is concerned.
Well, but even
online gaming was still huge back then.
Yeah.
But the idea of gaming on an exclusively streaming platform was, I think, if not to say that it wasn't occurring to some degree or wasn't possible, but I think it's because people it's becoming easier, I think, for a lot of people, but it's people weren't ready to just make that transition to just discless gaming like that.
No.
Because it's that means that you literally have no way to ensure that that game is yours forever.
Yeah.
That's basically what it comes down to.
But also, if we look at just, let's look outside of gaming, though. Google Home didn't exist at that time.
Yeah.
The Echo didn't exist at that time.
Mm-hmm.
All these things, these smart home devices are now a thing where you can go ahead and go, Alexa, turn on the TV. Google, go ahead and do this. These things didn't exist.
The future is now, folks. Take a deep breath and look around.
These things didn't exist at the time. So, now we're at a point where, you need the internet. Honestly, internet should be considered a utility as much as electricity
is. In Europe.
I know. I'm talking about here in America.
Well, here in America, it's a bunch of greedy people who know they can make money off of it.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm sure. I don't even know if it'll ever change. Just because it's eventually I think that it's going to get to the point where they're probably going to be forced to make a decision to do it because it's just going to be so intravenous that people are just going to start finding ways around even paying for it because it's such an ingrained necessity in modern culture.
Yeah.
And they're basically it's just because because everybody needs it is why they won't make it a utility because it's guaranteed income on a huge scale.
Yeah, I get you. But it's and honestly that's kind of where Google is, and Google's trying to do the stream thing. I don't see right now where we are right now. I do agree with you where it's going to be like No Man's Sky or like Destiny or all the the live service games or whatever where
it's not going to come out perfect. It's going to come out so that they can figure out exactly what needs to be done, and then they're going to bring out the best version they can after that.
Yeah, and we've seen this before, but I don't think streaming is going to ever completely replace.
Well, think about it this way. It hasn't yet, and people still, especially with the resurgence and retro gaming in arcades and things. It's like the physicality. I don't think is ever. It's if anything, you may become in the minority for having like physical copies.
Yeah, like
but it's not going to be eliminated because there's still going to be a demand for that because it's like. And the other thing is like people. It's only going to take one. It's going to take like one big or several small incidents of like people like purchasing in something in its entirety as far as a streaming service or a game goes, and then just losing it forever, and they're just never going to trust it again.
Yeah. And
that's all it's going to take, and then people will be like, nope, like I just don't because there's no way you can like it's completely digital. If it's completely digital, there's nothing you can really do about it. As where if like even if a game was deleted off your system, if you had the physical disc, you still have that game and you could reinstall it.
Yeah,
I mean, you paid for it and it's there.
Well, like look at PT. Look at you know there are some like some of
like the only people who even have it are the people who would download the original demo, and then it's just gone. And not to say that like I mean obviously all the games I have on Steam are downloaded digitally, but that's on the PC.
Yeah,
that's literally like the internet device, like you know what I mean, and I trust Steam. Like, Steam doesn't screw around. They just give stuff away because they make so much money and they don't care. And, like, I think Steam has, like, an amazing business model, and I love them as a company.
I mean, again, we've, like, just go a little bit off, but, like, we already know about, like, the Epic Game Store is, like, people are not a fan of the Epic Game Store.
I was seeing some, like, because I didn't watch it, but I was scrolling on YouTube earlier, and I saw some thumbnails of like Steam versus the Xbox or Epic Game Store. I was like, honestly, I didn't even know there was an Epic Game Store, because I don't really. I mean, since Gears of War, I haven't played in any Epic games.
But now they're like what has happened is that Epic Games has like Metro is going to be exclusive. Metro Exodus.
Yeah, I saw something about how like
Metro Exodus is
they pulled it from Steam and then
Outer
like
Worlds,
whoops.
Outer Worlds, which before this it was going to be on Steam, but now Outer Worlds is going to be only on the Epic Game Store. It was shown off at E3 during Bethesda's press conference.
I didn't watch E3.
Oh wow, okay. Well, it's pretty much like it's made by Obsidian, who did New Vegas. It's another like Fallout-esque kind of game made by Obsidian, but it's a different universe.
Okay. Fair enough.
Not connected to Fallout. But like that's the thing. People are upset about that thing. And I like just the reason why I wanted to go off on this tangent to pull it back to what our PlayStation conversation is that it's a digital service. Now, mind you, these are games being bought, but like if there are problems with like this service, or there are games that you're streaming, and if there are problems,
like there's a huge risk of loss of your investment.
And
especially given the fact that with all this, with what they're saying this has, there's no way it's going to be like any kind of cheap.
Oh God, no.
Not at all.
God, no.
It's rich people gaming, and that's exactly what it is. That's fine. I don't care. But it's just like it's only for a select market that's even going to be able to afford to take the chance on something like this.
But even if it was like, even if the price is right for me, like this is something that I'm not really interested in this.
I'm not either. I personally don't like I mean, I think it's a cool idea. I'm not saying I do like the idea of like, being on like the internet, seeing an ad for a game, and then like play a demo of it through the ad, like, and just instantly have that game. That's cool, and I support that kind of idea. But it's like if I didn't even if whatever I'm on can support the game anyway. But what's
But here's the thing, though, is that we've seen the pitfalls. Like this isn't the first time that anyone has done this.
Yep.
This is not.
It's just the first time that Google has done it.
Exactly.
Which I feel probably has the best chance of anybody because they have the they have the ability and the resources and the brain power to do it right. If there is a way to do it right.
But that's what I mean. I truly, because even so. The Xbox Game Pass, you can consider it as a streaming service, but you're not actually streaming.
Right.
It's a Netflix style, Hulu style,
like you own it to a degree.
Yeah. So like you pretty much.
It's even less. Like Netflix is more of a streaming service than even like
the Game Pass.
Yeah, because or like with PlayStation Plus, like you download.
You mean now PlayStation Now?
Well, what? Yeah.
Yeah. I get you.
So yeah, you download it and it's there as long as you're, it's a subscription service. But it's like, even if your subscription is up, you still get to keep it. You just can't use it until you re-up it. But it's super cheap to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth the price because you get access to all the stuff that you have, plus future stuff that comes out. Mm-hmm. Whereas like with this, it's like, again, it goes back.
They only showed off 2 games: Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Doom Eternal. Awesome. Great. I like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I played the game, I had a fun time. Doom Immortal, I'm excited for.
Eternal. You said Doom Immortal.
God damn it. Eternal. Immortal. God, stupid Diablo. Anyway, yes. That game. The new Doom game.
Right.
Where, like, I'm excited for that game. What else, though? What, like...
I mean, they probably couldn't show a bunch of stuff because it's still in development.
I get you, but it is one of those, like...
But then again, it's like, why wouldn't you just have waited until, like...
Like E3.
Yeah, or wait until it was at such a point where you could just, like, start shooting off, like, all of these demos.
It's just, like, for me, like, what I see here, like, awesome. You're trying to go into the gaming market and compete.
They might have just done it, too, to try to gain really early on support.
They probably did.
To see how the market was going to react to it before they put a bunch... Maybe that's it. Before they pour a bunch of time and resources into the project, they may have wanted to, like, take it like the analyst type, like is this even a viable... long-term project.
Yeah.
Wait, what's people's reaction to it?
And it's really mixed. But I think a lot of everything that I've been seeing, all around, is that people, it's mixed. People are either excited or they're not. Or
I mean, I think it's a cool thing, but it really just doesn't affect me because I know that I'm not going to be able to. Even if I could afford it, I probably still wouldn't do it. Because I'd rather just buy a bunch of hard copies.
And the other thing is that, like, when you stream on Netflix and Hulu, those are movies and TV shows. Those are smaller files.
Yeah, that's
you're not interacting with it.
Right. So there's a lot less horsepower required.
Those streaming services are passive because you're just sitting there watching what's in front of you. Where when you're playing, like, let's say, like, Apex Legends and Fortnite, gotta be on there because they're the 2 most popular games out there right now.
Mm-hmm. Until Google makes their own battle royale,
which I guess
I wouldn't even be surprised.
Oh, I know,
honestly.
but regardless, all I'm saying is that these 2 games are the most popular, like, games out there. These are, like, competitive, like, Twitch shooters.
Yep.
And like
the battle royale is pretty much like the king of the castle on like any streaming platform right now.
Mm-hmm. And if like, again, as we talked about, like, if the internet service is not on point, like, you're going to be lagging, and no one wants that in competitive games.
No one's lagging ever.
In
any circumstance.
You're not
There's
wrong.
never a point where lag is enjoyable ever.
Ever. It sucks.
Especially with how, the less and less people have a hardwired LAN connection too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're on Wi-Fi, you have even less, like, of a steady connection.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but it's like you're going to need to have, like, one hell of, an internet plan to even hope to, like, have any of that, whatever they said, happen.
Yeah.
Like, because those are, if it does what it says it does, that's insane. But being that that's insane, like, you need to have an insane, like, equipment to be able to run at, like, 10.7 teraflops of computing power. Like, who has a computer that can handle that?
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of people. I mean, they exist if you have coin, but like, that's like the only.
You need a super powered, like, tower PC.
Right, like you're putting more than a couple grand into a PC that can handle something like that, like, at max, And granted, I'm sure it has, like it said, it would scale as needed, so it'll probably downscale itself, to be able to match what
it's these buzzwords that are used to, like, to have you go, hey, it's more powerful than the 2 systems that everyone plays on.
And very well may be.
And that's
great, but it's like,
there's
a lot more that comes with that than just saying, well, that's cool, I want to get it because it's the biggest, baddest thing. It's like, but if you don't have... Like, you'll probably not be able to run it at, like, max unless, like we said...
Like, if you get an Xbox One X, it is the most powerful console on the market, but if you have a 1080p TV It don't matter. You just pay.
It'll look
good.
Right, but I mean, yeah, it's not fully
exactly. You're cutting your system in half. Really, you would have been fine just getting a regular Xbox One. Same thing with the PS4 Pro.
Right.
You know, if you don't have 4K TV, you're just better off.
Exactly. That's why I just have a Slim, because I don't need a 4K television. It's not necessary for me.
I mean, I do. But
that's good for you. Again, I don't have the money to just. I mean, my TV still works, and one of the other major reasons is the TV I have is like a somewhat older Samsung, but it has every connection port. Like, nice. I have my PC plugged into it. It has a VGA on it.
Jeez, yeah. Well, I'll give you that.
And I can put all my retro systems on it. I have literally all my systems plugged in at the same time, so I can just switch inputs and be on any system outside of having to switch one or two.
Yeah. So I mean, I get you there, but the Google Stadia, I feel that it's too early, and it's definitely very they're definitely thinking far into the future, but right now in 2019, I don't think so. I think it's going to be like the PS3 or the original when the Xbox One. It's going to take time for people to get behind it, and I don't think they'll this is not going to get rid of Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo at all.
No,
at all. God no. These three companies,
which is good because I wouldn't want that.
No, and honestly, adding another competitor into the market would make more competition the better. But with streaming, we don't have the capabilities in order to do online, streaming a video game
to the level of what they're saying. I mean, it's definitely possible. It's been done. We can do it now, but it's yeah.
But the
level they're saying that they want it to be at, at least the general populace of gamers will not have the funds or the resources to be able to really utilize that kind of technology.
Yeah, and this is definitely not going to be it's free. You'll just go ahead and you pull up a web browser or pull up, throw on your Google Chrome and throw it on your TV. You can go. No, it's going to be, you're going to have to pay for it. And
you gonna pay.
you're gonna go ahead and pay for this. You give us your money, man. You want to go ahead and give us your money?
I really wish Macho Man was still alive, because I would love a Stadia commercial.
Oh God,
with him in it. Now that I'm just picturing.
Oh yeah, you know what you want? You gotta go ahead and get this Google Stadia, man. Look at
cream of the crop.
It's the best. It's the cream of the crop, man.
And he'll hit, oh man, no, I'm gonna get off track if I start talking about it. So we'll move on.
Ooh yeah!
See, that's what I'm saying, dude. He could sell me anything. I swear to God.
Slim into a Slim Jim, man. Yeah.
Yep. That's right. He did do that.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. I love Macho Man Randy Savage. I love it. He's so
R.I.P.
good. Oh yes. But yeah. But jokes aside, let's go ahead and close this up. But In closing, it sounds awesome. But in practice and in use and what we've seen before, no.
Or at least not at this point.
Not at this point.
You make internet utility and guarantee an insane connection?
It's just you need a more powerful internet connection. It's been proven by PlayStation. It's been proven by other streaming services who have tried to stream games. It has not worked. It has not worked for you.
It'd be interesting to see whenever or if ever the Stadia releases, if it does, let's say it does everything it does.
Yeah.
I would be interesting to see a metric on if there's an increase in the sales of LAN cables.
Oh yeah.
Just because that's the only real way to guarantee a perfect connection, or as a steady connection, because Wi-Fi is nebulous. It works. I use it on mine, for my PS4, and usually it's great.
I've never been kicked out. I use Wi-Fi on mine.
Oh yeah, I've never
kicked
been
out.
kicked out, but sometimes, I'll notice like a little bit of sluggishness, like especially if I'm playing a fighting game
Oh,
where
yeah.
like frames matter.
Oh yeah.
But like
Ooh.
but when I got that LAN cable, because I have one LAN cable and it's usually in my PC, and I can just unplug it because I'm using one or the other, not on both at the same time because they're both on the same TV.
Oh, nice.
So I'll just unplug it and plug it into the back of the PS4 if I feel like it. But if but like that's only if like either the connection like is just really bad for some reason, or a lot of things. And that's another thing is when you're using Wi-Fi, if you have multiple devices on it, like it gets weaker.
Well, yeah, because you're taking parts of the pie.
Yeah.
The more devices you have, the parts of the pie are gone. So,
Exactly.
like, it's gonna be like back in the early 2000s. That the AOL dial-up, man.
Oh man.
Get off the phone!
Yeah.
I'm trying to use the internet!
It's so you know what that is like one of the I mean, it's like it's been gone over, but it's like that's still one of the examples of like a generation gap.
Yep.
For me, even though I'm not that old, like
No, it's our generation that know about
right.
that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the generation that is succeeding us, like the younger, like what generation, Gen Z
or something.
Yeah, I think it's Gen Z. Well, regardless, I just think it's interesting. It's like they just wouldn't even be able to wrap their head around like why that doesn't make sense to them.
Yeah.
But I can understand why it wouldn't make sense because they're so completely unrelated.
Exactly.
now.
Or if you gave them a Game Boy.
Yeah.
Like I saw one where like a little kid had a Game Boy and like he was just like doing this,
Oh my
thinking it was
God.
a phone. It's like the buttons are literally down here.
I would want to walk up and just like
God!
I would just like in one smooth motion, I'd slap and take the Game Boy away in one motion, and then just be like, "Let me show you how this is done."
Oh man, but you are not wrong. Like the generation after us don't like. Maybe this is the way that
That's
they
probably
will know.
why.
That's probably what's gonna
That's
happen.
probably what Google's envisioning is like. It's like the only thing they're gonna understand because they grew up like we. I think that I think that we were born in the perfect generation as far as technology, and having a good hold on it because I was born before the internet was really in prominence, so I grew up with the internet and having known all that, but still could play outside, having analog controls on my devices and nothing because the thing is with a touch screen and don't get me wrong, I love having a touch screen. That's fun and it's awesome and it's convenient. But as soon as your screen breaks, it's over and it becomes a paperweight and it's useless.
Yep.
Because everything relies
on that
touch screen. Whereas with a Game Boy, you have a cracked screen as long as your internals are good and you didn't damage the light. Your analog buttons are still going to work just fine. You know what I'm saying? Same with the television. There's TVs without any power buttons or anything on them. So what happens if you lose your remote? You're screwed. And it's going to be an expensive TV because only the newer ones are like that. That's another reason I like my TV. Because I can get the menu. I can it's I know how I can work it. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love using my remote.
I get you.
But and also not even that you would lose your remote, but your remote goes to shit.
Oh yeah.
And if it's well, you're going to have to spend however many more dollars to get a new replacement remote because everything's built to last a few months before it breaks because they just keep the monkey rolling and they just want to get more money out of you. Same thing with that's why I like Dualshock'd because they're built really nice and they may eventually go, but you get years out of it.
Oh yeah, you do.
And for $60, that's a deal.
And honestly Sony isn't a good
And let's
job
just
making
take a
those
moment to
controllers.
appreciate real quick how all physical games now come out on Blu-ray disc.
So nice. I love it.
Just for the
I love
just
it.
for durability's
So
sake.
nice.
Because all the 360 they're CD quality.
Oh.
Literally you have to baby those things.
I know.
And remember those old cases that had the really stiff trifecta style of the center, which would just eventually crack your inner ring. I lost the game to that. And it's the only instance of it ever happening.
That's why I was so happy with the PS3, man.
Yep.
Dude, I love it.
They were the first one to
when they went to Blu-ray. Mind you, Sony had the patent on that, but oh man, I was so happy that those were Blu-rays.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, again, I know we went off a little tangent. We do this normally. It's okay. Whatever. Final closing thoughts on the Google Stadia.
You first.
I already did. I already stated that. Well,
I'm pretty much in agreement then. I mean, my final thoughts on it. Basically, I think it's a cool idea. I think that more than like looking at it as like its own thing. I think I really like that it's starting the conversation because, like you said, like on live, like people have tried to do certain things like this before. But I think now, especially with Google at the helm, it's definitely like getting that conversation going because it's being taken seriously. And I think that it definitely is something that like should be explored because I think there's a lot of cool like possibilities as a result of having something like the Stadia or just having the ability to like play the demo of the game that you see an ad for, you know. That's what I like. That's the future right there. It's like, oh, I want to, and then just like right there, like that's like consumer culture, all that. But I also feel like it's just like I just don't really have an incentive, personally and financially, like for like something like the Stadia. It just I'm much more of a I mean, the only digital games I have I either got for free or were only available digitally. So for me, it's like I'd much rather would have a physical copy, like in as far as that goes, just because it's more of a security blanket, I guess. I could trade it back in, I could sell it, I could take it to a friend's house. It looks good in my stack, like having like this. Like you when you have something like this, like people will start like look at all the games and they can just be like, oh, you know what I mean, like it's more of the aesthetic value that it's like no one's gonna scroll through 100 games that are sitting on your PS4 that are digital.
I think like for just to go a little bit to go off that, like again, I love physical games because of this aesthetic right here. I love just like coming up to this, sitting right here and going, look at this. Look at all
or
of
just
this.
Like when you want to pick a game and like you're not just scrolling through digital, you're just like, it's like more of a tactile thing.
Exactly.
You're like looking at it and seeing what you want.
But with a digital game though, you do like this does take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
This does take up a lot of space. Having if you're trying to kind of break everything down and you want it more streamlined, having it digitally.
I'm not going to deny that it's far more convenient to have a digital one because you don't even need to get up and put a disc in. But you know what? I don't, I'd rather get up and do a little exercise before I sit down for hours.
And I guess that might be something that, like, for us, that we did that back in the 90s and, like...
Yeah, well, it's part and parcel to, like, how I view gaming. Like, that's once you get it in there, you're good, and then you have to get up and take it out, as opposed to just shutting it off. But it's like, whatever. It's like, it doesn't even register. It's like 5 feet from me,
I know, exactly. Exactly, but like, yeah, I think like with the streaming, it'll be very interesting to see what Google will be going from here and how Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo are going to kind of respond to this.
Google's just going to buy them all.
No. I don't see that.
I think that'd be funny.
That would be dumb. That would be dumb. No, I'm not down. But yeah,
I don't think it'd be fun. I just think it'd be possible because Google has lots of money.
I'm aware. Yes, of course.
Google and Amazon are just going to combine forces and just buy everything.
Oh yeah, no. Then we're gonna be seeing what we see in those in the future. The Terminator and
Dystopia.
Dystopia. Like, no, I don't need that. I don't need that. Competitiveness is good. I like competitiveness. It's good. But guys, that is it. I think we kind of pretty much said everything we wanted on the Stadia. And I know we want to go on side tangent, but that's okay. We're here to talk, and we want to go ahead and hear what you guys have to say.
Besides, you can always just read the news. You don't come here for that.
You can always...
It's about the personal touch.
That is very true. That's why.
You know?
That's why I have you here.
Exactly.
Guru Blaz.
Because I'm all about that personal touch.
There you go. But guys, we would definitely love to hear what you guys have to say about the Stadia, or really anything that we have talked about today about the state of play, which, as I said before, we will be doing a talk over, watch along of it. So if you, again, I'll just repeat it one more time. We'll be doing a pre-show at 1:30 Central Time. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm doing that wrong. 1:30, not Central Time. 1:30 Pacific Time.
Time zones are a bit.
Time zones are. Whoo, okay. So it's 2 o'clock Pacific Time. That's when it starts. So we'll be doing a pre-show half an hour before. So 1:30 at Pacific Time. 5 o'clock is when it starts in the Eastern Time, so we'll be doing it 4:30 Eastern Time, and then for us, we live in Central Time Zone, so it starts at 4. We'll be doing it at 3:30 for us in Central Time. And if you need to figure out your time zones, do all that. I can barely do it in my own head. But we'll be doing a pre-show half an hour before the show begins. We'll be watching and talking over the show when it starts, and we'll be doing a post-show, kind of talking about our thoughts, what we thought about it, and whatever they announce, which will be very, very exciting. But guys, go ahead and let us know in the comments what you thought about what we all talked about today. All that kind of stuff. But guys, thank you so much for watching, listening to us. We always appreciate that. If you haven't,
appreciate it more than he does.
Is this
and there's no way you can disprove that.
I know I can't. I know I can't.
So that's my
there you go. There you go. But if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. Press the subscribe button and also press the bell icon. That way, whenever we put up a video, you know we put up a video. Also, follow us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/The Brotherhood of Geeks. And then you can also follow us in the channel on Twitter at Dualshock'd BOG. That's the name of this PlayStation podcast, Dualshock'd BOG. And then you can also watch us when we stream, which we will be streaming this on Twitch and YouTube, which is twitch.tv/Brotherhood of Geeks. So you can go ahead and see us on Twitch when we watch the State of Play, and also we'll be streaming to YouTube as well. Any other things, Guru Blaz?
I think I'm good.
Oh, okay. You good?
I'm good.
You
Good for now.
Good. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Brett J. Rasmussen.
I'm Guru Blaz.
And as always, live to play, play together. We'll see you guys next time.